Hello, this is the University of Central Lancashire in Preston, where we teach multimedia journalism and sports journalism. My name's Steve Canavan, I'm the course leader for sports journalism, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the courses and what we might be able to offer you, because it's a brilliant career. Journalism is basically telling stories, so if you're a little bit nosy like myself and you want to find out about people, this is the course for you. It's a very practical course, so it's not like a lot of courses which you'll be sat in a lecture theatre with 200 other students listening to people like me drone on. You'll actually be out and about doing things. We don't want you to be stuck inside, we want you to be out and about. That's the best way to learn. So for example, on the sports course, from day one, we might be sending you to football clubs or cricket clubs or rugby clubs, and we want you to go and get stories and find them yourself. Right at the start of the course, we'll be holding your hand and guiding you and teaching you how to do all these things. And as the course develops in year 2 and year 3, there'll be a lot more of you just going off and doing it. Journalism has changed a lot over the last few years, so a lot of it for a long time was just writing, really, and then of course TV and radio came along, but it's so much more than that now. You can make 45-second videos and tell a story over a video. You can do podcasting. There's all sorts of avenues, and we'll teach you about all of them on the course.
To Monday's programme, I'm Oliver Rawlinson.
This is the television gallery where we produce and direct all our TV shows because we do something called News Days at Uclan. This is really important. It's because we've got accreditation for the courses from the Broadcast Journalism Training Council, and what's great about that is you don't just leave with a degree in journalism, you get your BJTC certificate as well. And what's even more important is because we have this accreditation, which is kind of like an Ofsted for universities, it means we have to have a certain quality of teaching, and including in that is having 15 news days, a minimum of, in year 2 and year 3. News days are where you come in first thing in the morning, and by 5 o'clock that evening you've made a TV programme, or you've done a radio news show, or you've built a website, or you've written a load of stories. It's acting as a journalist would. And this is the TV gallery, like I say, where the programmes play out. There's a big team in here. In journalism, there's a lot of working as a group. It's really good fun, actually. So this will be entirely full on a news day. It'll be quite tense. There'll be countdowns before the show goes on air. Because when you're doing a show, it's got to hit a certain amount of time. So if you're on air for 30 minutes, if you go over in real life by 1 second, it breaks into the weather. So you have to be really disciplined and stick to the time limits. And this is where we learn to do that, as well as have a lot of fun in the process.
So I'm working on a stabbing incident. So there was 2 stabbings last night. So I'm kind of looking into that, getting more detail, and then I will be recording a live piece for the TV programme.
Our reporter Katie Collier has more details.
Patrols have been increased in the area.
Work experience is an absolutely crucial part of the course, and we help you do that. So built into the course is a 3rd year module called work placement, which by the end of it you have to get 15 days work experience somewhere. You can start that in year 1, so any day you do counts towards this tally, and we help you get that. All the lecturers here have been journalists, many of us still work in the industry, and all our friends are actually in the industry, so we can call them up and sort out or help you arrange these work placements. And it's really important because that's the kind of thing that you do in your own time that helps you get the good job at the end of the course. What you don't want is to come to university for 3 years, it costs a lot of money to study here, and then be unemployed at the end of it. We will do everything we can not to let that happen and make sure you get the job that you really, really want. Nothing makes us happier than when one of our students goes on to get something really good, and it happens every year. Lots of students go on to get jobs. We've got really good employability rates. On the sports course, which I'm in charge of, in the last couple of years alone, we've had a lad who's gone to be a Premier League writer for the Athletic website, which is a huge website, and we've also had a lad who's working in the Formula 1 press office and sends us really annoying pictures on Facebook of him travelling the world, and we're dead jealous because we're sat in the office in Preston. But really, we're absolutely delighted. So it's crucial that you get as much of that under your belt as possible. And what I'd also say to you, if you really are thinking about journalism or are getting interested in the subject, why not start a blog now? Get online and start writing about things, giving your view about things, get a YouTube channel going. The more you do now, the better it will look in 4 years' time, 5 years' time, which seems an awful long way away, but it'll come down really quickly. When you actually go for jobs for real, all that experience you've amassed in that time will impress your potential employers so much, it'll really put you in a great chance of getting that job. So we will help you get as much experience as possible and get the best job possible at the end of the course. And like I say, there's no better job than being a journalist. It's great to spend your days doing that when no 2 days are the same. You can go about telling people stories, reporting on big events. It's a great way to earn a living.
What you waiting for? Tell me what you waiting for. The night is young and so are we. Souls entwined, my mind is free. Just give me tonight and we'll see. Come alive when the rain begins to fade. Tell me, can you feel it? Something's changing. I can feel it fade. And I know I'm on my way. I wanna dance another way. And I'll tell you that day I'm dangerous. I'm dangerous. Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. You know how bad I want you. Can't stop myself, I want you. Now I want some more. Give me some more. What you waiting for? Tell me what you waiting for.
Another good thing about the course is that you can actually study abroad. So in the second year, you don't have to stay in Preston. If you want to go for 1 semester or the full year, you can go anywhere in the world. We've just had 2 students return from America. One of them was in California. We were very envious of him. Someone else came back from Hong Kong. And this applies to both the news and the sports courses. You can go and study somewhere else. You don't have to. I think when I was at university, I probably wouldn't have been ready for it. I was a bit of a home bird. But for those who are and want to experience living in a different country and reporting in a different country for a year, then it's a really good opportunity. Also, we do trips abroad. So every year we take a group of journalism students somewhere in the world just to, again, get a new experience and to see how things work overseas. A couple of years ago we went to China. We took 15 sports journalism students over there and had a great time. Previous to that we've been to Kenya and also to Gibraltar to cover the World Island Games, which are like the Olympics for small islands. So there's plenty of variation, plenty of different things to do, and it's all aimed at developing you as a person and as a journalist and making you improve.
From 7:15 on Sunday.
Good afternoon, this is CLR Radio at 12:30. I'm Chloe Wilson with your news this lunchtime.
The Kansas City Chiefs have won American football's Super Bowl.
It's been an exciting and intense time here at the National Track Championships in Manchester.
I'm getting match of the day highlights and then going to edit it upstairs in the Avid Suite.
On to football now. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has said he and the first team will not take part in the FA Cup replay with Shrewsbury.
So if you do choose to come to Uclan and study journalism, what can you expect? Well, at least half the course each year is practical, hands-on stuff, learning how to be a journalist, out and about, having fun. But of course, it's a degree course, so you need to do the other side of it as well. And that involves learning about law. It's not sort of boring law, it's about what you can and can't say, why you can't just go on Twitter and tweet something ridiculous because technically you could get sued for defamation or libel. It's about learning shorthand, which if you've never heard of, it's a really quick way of writing by missing out vowels. Something that'll really come in handy. I still use it to this day, even to write out my shopping list. Really annoys my wife. And there's ethics. So why, as a journalist, you have a responsibility to in your role. You have to sort of set standards and follow an ethical framework, because all journalists have to work to a certain standard and do things the right way. The course must be really enjoyable, because one thing we're really proud of, that every year there's something called the National Student Survey, the NSS, and it's well worth looking at, even though it sounds boring. It's a survey filled out by every third year journalism student in the country, and they rate their course. And our department got really high marks last year. Sports journalism, for instance, got 100% for overall satisfaction, academic feedback and support. And it shows that our students really enjoy the course, and we're dead proud of that, because we want our students not just to learn, but to actually enjoy it while they're here, and they certainly seem to do that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You can follow all of our stories on the website and Uclan Live on Twitter.
The best part of being a journalist is just the sheer excitement of the job. You never know what you're going to be doing from one day to the next. But that is also probably the worst part as well, because you might get a call at 7 o'clock at night that some big story is just broken and you have to wave goodbye to your family and say, right, I'm off to cover this. But I think it's worthwhile. You get plenty of time off as well, don't forget. But yeah, the day-to-day, you're not going to be sat in the same place doing the same thing day after day being bored. There's always something different. There are always different stories happening, and that is the very best thing. You're not doing the same thing, you're not bored. Every day of your life, of your working life, you're going to be doing something different and interesting, and you also have that privilege of telling a story to lots of people, and that is a great job to have.
Tonight we'll say yeah, 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 yeah. Come alive when the rain begins to fade.
4, 3, 2, 1. Cue titles. Hello and welcome to Uclan Sports News. I'm Sean Perman.
And I'm Tom Wood. Our headlines today: